Hello class, and welcome back to KDH art class. This is Miss Howard, your art teacher, and we're going to be creating space. Now space is how close or far away something is in the art world. We're not talking about the planets and the stuff like this. We're talking about things that look like they're overlapping on top of each other. You got the sky that's in the distance and the cowboys that are closer and the cowboys that are a little further away. Okay. We're going to be creating a really fun little project here. Honestly, I saw it online and I couldn't find a video on how to do it. So I looked it up online, figured out how to do it, and I started to create some fun little mummy monsters. Some can be a little bit more scary. I was kind of playing around a little bit more, maybe even add a little hair to it. Okay. Some can be a little bit cute and wacky. So we're going to be creating ours, and we're going to be creating what looks like little overlapping band-aids using a lot of the lines that we've been practicing up until this point. And something that's kind of fun is I have another video that creates these little mummies using actual overlapping paper. So you can have fun doing it either way. We're going to be drawing them. It's a little bit more challenging, but I think we can do it. The challenging part is going to be coloring it. So you're going to need some crayons to really get the different levels going. I am going to try the crayons today. Normally when I do crayons on my camera, they reflect the light and it's kind of hard to see, so I usually do everything with my markers. And so I'll probably do a little combination of both so that you can really see what's going on and follow along. So again, this says positive and negative shapes, yes, but it's going to create the space, you know, and we're going to be focusing on overlapping things that are on top of each other, or in this flat piece of paper world that look like they are on top of each other. Okay. And artists have done all kinds of neat little tessellations where things look like they're on top of each other. Okay. Creating that space. Look at these cities farther away and the birds closer. Just so much fun things. Okay. Looking at the hands, very famous drawing here by MC Escher, drawing the hands that, and of course it looks like they're drawing each other. So much fun thing, and of course it can also be done with sculpture, creating that positive and negative space of all kinds. So to get started, we're going to start with the little mummy here. Alright, you're just going to need some paper, pencil, eraser if you need it, and something to color with. Now, this project, we don't want it to take too long, so instead of using a full piece of paper, we're going to fold it in half and just use half a page of paper. So we're not doing too much time on this. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and switch to a marker so that you can see what you need to do with your pencil. You're going to be using pencil right now. I'm going to do the marker. Of course, you'll be able to erase. If I mess up, too bad, so sad, I will not be able to erase. Now, I'm making sure my paper is tall, also known as vertical, or in the art world we call this portrait. This is our yes, this is no. Yes, no. So let's go with yes. And the first thing we need to do is we need to start figuring out where we're going to have the opening for our eyes. Alright, so the artist. I love how they did a diagonal line first. Again, thank goodness we practiced those lines, so we have a nice little diagonal line. And you're going to, everything's going to be like 2 lines. So we have this one, we're going to make a second line, and now look, I'm going to not make it perfectly straight. I'm going to let it start to look raggedy, like it might be a band-aid. Probably should have done that with that first one. If you want to go back, erase, and make it raggedy looking, you can. I cannot. I did marker. But that's alright. I'll shade it and it'll be just fine. Because I love to solve the problems. Alright, from there I'm going to do, see, I'm going to get smart. I learned from my mistake. I'm going to start with a little raggedy line, 1, and a raggedy line, 2. Oh, look, it's the letter B. Alright. Or the letter A. Or an alligator mouth. I don't know. Whatever you see, you see. Right. This little space here, this little triangular space, is where our eyes are going to go. So, at this point, let's go ahead and put our eyes there so we don't forget. I want you to come up with 2 different size eyes. They can even be 2 different shapes. So, this one, I did kind of the semicircle. Right, and this one's the full circle. And my other guy, I did squares. Right, and I made sure they were like different and they kind of squeezed into the spots. It is up to you what kind of eyes you want to do. You can even do dizzy eyes, you can do anything like that. Small eye, big eye. I think I'll do a small eye and a big eye this time because it's just more fun. And I'm going to use up most of that space there, so I'm almost touching the top and the bottom. And that way when I do it with this one, look at the different size there. Oh my goodness, this is going to be adorable. All right. So again, you're doing this with your pencil. Once you decide, you may decorate your eye however you like. I've gotten into the pupil with the highlights in there, that's the light reflecting. You can do it however you like, or the way I do it. I put my donut hole in the middle of my donut, and then I add 2 circles, top and bottom, and then getting a black or as dark as possible crayon, marker, color pencil, whatever you're using, to create that. Right. From there, I like to do my colors. Okay. And let's see if we can see this. I'm going to go ahead and go with a crayon here. Yeah, it's not too bad. A little bit of that reflection is bothering me, but it's alright. It's just kind of like, there you go. Makes it look blurry. I can live with it for the eyes. Or at least with this project. I'll survive. Try not to let it bother you. And then I just can't help myself, so I use, literally, it is blue. And I can add this blue-green color, or I can even add a green color. And I like to mix them. You're not going to be able to see it as much, but it is a nice little, that's different that you see with your eyeballs. So there you go. So it's just, it's not blue. I see a little bit of green. I created interest. There we go. From there, I'm going to need a black crayon. There you go. Or, you know what? I think I'm going to take some of this away. Alright. I know, I'm all over the place. But this is a really big area, so I'm going to add my wiggly band-aids in here to kind of fill in. And I might even do one or two coming out over here. Again with the wiggly lines, taking away some of that negative space. Now I can sit there with my black crayon and go all the way around. Hopefully it's not making it too fuzzy looking on the screen. The darker you can make it, the better you will like that. But right now, I'm just going to get it done because I want this instruction part to go quickly. So you have time to really add those extra little details, which is going to make yours look even more fancy. Alright, so that's basically where the eyes are going to be. We created dark, negative space is further away, and the eyeballs are looking like they're coming a little bit closer because you can see them. Alright, then we have the overlapping band-aids. Okay, so I think I'm going to add a skinnier one right here where the nose would be covered up, and we're going to be adding the mouth area here. So it's going to look kind of like a triangle. So I'm going to need a diagonal. And again, everything's in twos, or should look like they're in twos. There's one, and here's my next one. And then I need something else over here to create my triangle. And my two lines right there. Alright, from here we get to add our teeth. Now my teeth are all broken, and I just think that's fun. I mean, he is, or she is in this case, she is a mummy, he is a mummy. That means they've been there for a long, long time. You know, thousands of years. And so I'm going to wiggle my square. You see, it's going to come down, have a little bit of a wiggle. Come down, have a little bit of a wiggle. I mean, they can't be perfectly straight. They don't have dentists back then. One, there could be two, right. And then once again I'm going to take my black or my dark color and do the around the teeth. Again, I'm going kind of fast. Not as dark as I would normally do, because I can get my crayons coloring so dark they look like, or they feel like soft, and it's like super shiny, and they look like you either painted it or did it with marker, because I do it so dark. And that takes a lot of hand strength. You're just pushing really hard on the crayon, making sure there's no white paper showing. But I'm lightly doing it, just again, it goes a little bit faster. And to really get in there and get dark would take time. Alright, so I have my mouth and I have my eyes. At this point, we need to finish adding our bandages. And you just see they're going in every direction. When I come to a bandage, I'm going to stop and jump over to the other side, or change it up however I want. So back to my pencil. Okay. And I need to start filling in all of this. I might even sit there and create some different directions. There we go. Flip them that way. Maybe another one that way. Another one that way. One more. Oh, good. That filled in that area. Okay. I could do another one this way and another one that way. You can do it any way you want. I'm going to go a little bit faster. You could always pause the video if you need. But we're just filling it in with our bandages. There we go. Okay, mine's all filled in. Now, how do you color this? It makes it look so cool. Okay, so you're going to pick your colors, and you're going to need to think of colors that mix together. For example, how do you make green? You make green by mixing yellow and blue. Alright, so you can do those colors. This guy, I did yellow, light green, medium green, dark green. This one, the orange. How do you get orange? Orange is made with yellow and red. Alright, and they look pretty cool together that way. And how do you make purple? Well, you need blue and you need red to make your purple. When you decide on your color, then you need to decide on your darkest one. Now, what I also like to do when I have red and purples together, then I find things that have those names in it. Purple can also be called violet. So this is violet red. Huh, that's got the violet and the red. So that would go together with that. Alright, and this one is called, oh, this is my purple. So this one was my blue violet. So it has blue and purple in it. So you can actually go by the names, and I like the Crayola names that are like that. When you're sitting there and you have ceruleum, unless you know that's a beautiful blue color, you're like, what on earth is ceruleum? Or chartreuse. What on earth is chartreuse? Okay, think of a Granny Smith apple. There's your chartreuse. Alright, so I'm going to start with my darkest one. I happen to know that's blue violet. Alright, and I'm going to go along my pencil edges. Alright, so I'm not going to do all of them, but I'm going to basically follow all of my pencil edges. And I'll just do a couple up here on the head. Alright. I'm just going to do this little section so that you can see. You know what? Let's see if I can zoom this in just a little bit so that to help you out. There's my little guy. Yay! Okay. So once I've done the outlines, and this one with the red, I did the red on the outside. And then I also did red wiggles close to the outside. So right next to that, with the same color, the blue violet, I am going to do a few little wiggles along that edge. Okay. And do at least one edge. You could do both edges if you'd like, but it's not really necessary. Alright. Mostly because they're really close together. Alright. So there's my little wiggles. Now, I'm also going to add a little bit on the very ends. So I'm just going to do some short lines. Parallel to each other on the ends. I might do it that way on that one. I'm not going to be able to get too many in there. And then I'll get this side, that side, that side, and that side. Doesn't make sense, but it will. Okay, it's just creating more shadows that way. Anything going this way would go in this direction, Don't forget my little wiggles. The wiggles make it happen, and a little bit of this shading. Alright, so that is my blue violet. Alright. And now I'm going to get the lightest one. So I can choose between my red or my red violet. And I'm going to go on the other end. So I did my dark wiggles on this side. I'm going to kind of, actually I think I'm going to do this more in the middle. Oh yeah, this one's definitely lighter than red. So I'm going to do some right here in the middle. And it's okay if I leave just a little bit of the white paper peeking through, not too dark or too much white paper. Too much white paper, you're going to lose that blending effect. Alright, and I'm going in the middle. Again, I'm just showing you the technique. So we went dark and we went as light as we can. Now, in between, I have this regular purple, and I have regular blue, or I even have regular red. So I can choose any one of those to start going in between. And I'm leaning towards blue. Why not? Blue would be fun. My blue is not going to cover up my purple, but I am going to go on top of my purple, and I'm going to go all the way around. Right. Wherever that darker purple was, right, I'm going to go ahead and start blending, which means a fancy way of saying mixing my crayon colors together to create. And you're going to go, especially those edges. Right. As you're going along. Okay. Alright. So, you're going to keep going and keep going until all of your bandages are covered. Now, if I want to get super crazy and I want to bring in this other one, I go right on top. This one is the regular purple. And again, I'm leaving a little bit of the white kind of showing. But I'm going a little bit on top of the lighter pink color and on the darker stuff. Kind of like we did when I had you guys coloring the pumpkins. You want them to kind of mix together, and then you don't have that just normal straight line. And as you're going, that's how you did it. So I did that with my markers, but I still had to go on top with a crayon, and I picked a lighter orange and went on top of my markers when I was using the markers here. It gave me extra colors to work with. You can color your teeth, you can add little cracks, you can make your eyes as fancy as you like. And again, you can make it as dark as you have time to, and you want to do the whole thing. I hope you enjoy this project. I can't wait to see you again. Bye.